back. We've been on hiatus for a while, but we're back in the studio with our podcast program, The Purpose Podcast, because we believe that everything has a divine purpose. And speaking of having a divine purpose, gonna reintroduce my guy here, Mr. Chris Kelly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Doing well.
All right. How you been doing, guy?
Man, I have been good. I've been missing this. I have been waiting and watching for the phone call. And when you told me, hey, man, we are ready. Studio is back open. Let's get going.
Well, we had to have some repairs done. We had some upgrades and got some new digs. And
yes, sir.
We want to, continue on. We want to make
Yes,
sure we
sir.
get that message out. We want to make sure that everybody that has a purpose can come here and talk to us about the things that they want to do.
Yeah.
And speaking of purpose and divine purpose, we got a special person here with us.
Yeah. Mike, can you introduce our first guest?
Wow. This is a dear old friend, and, we go way back. And I admired her for so long. She's so beautiful. She in a pink,
Yes.
very
radiant smile.
Yeah. And she's an AKA. So,
Okay, now.
If you don't know, you should know. This is Miss Cheryl Johnson. Cheryl, you come here every year and you talk about something that has a very divine purpose, and that is the Cancer Coalition here in the Chattahoochee Valley. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna do this right here, because I got 50 things going on at one time. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to sort of head out, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Chris Kelly, and he's going to treat you nice, okay?
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, so don't go nowhere. We'll be right back with more of the Purpose Podcast right here on CCG TV and all of CCG TV's network.
Hello, I'm Isaiah Hughley, City Manager of Columbus, Georgia, and former board chair of the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition. I will be supporting the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition in their annual fundraising efforts for their 15th anniversary of Paint the Town Pink. The theme this year is Knock Cancer Out the Park. So get ready for the Pink Glow Fun Walk Run on Friday, October 18th, 2024 at Woodruff Park. To get registered, go online to www.runsignup.com. That is www.runsignup.com, and look for the Paint the Town Pink Columbus. Please join me as we knock cancer out the park in Columbus, Georgia, and the Columbus, Georgia region.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Kelly, and I am right here on the Purpose Podcast, CCG TV, under the direction of my good friend and mentor, Mr. Michael King. Ladies and gentlemen, he already introduced her, but for the purpose, no pun intended, I am going to reintroduce her. And her purpose of being here today, Miss Cheryl Johnson, how are you doing today?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful
Yes.
today.
So before we came on today, I asked you where you were from. But for those who do not know you, I don't know who that would be, but the very small percentage of those who may not know you, talk a little bit about your background, your upbringing, Columbus then and Columbus now.
Oh, wow. Born and raised right here. I'm a Columbusite.
Okay.
Went to Columbus High School.
Wow.
Graduated from there. Well, of course, I went to elementary school here as well. But graduated from there and went on to the University of Georgia.
Okay.
Go Dogs.
All right. Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
Graduated from there and then came back. My major was social work, and so I've always sort of been in that realm of working. And then I did receive my master's from Columbus State.
Wow.
So
that is awesome.
Yeah, home is right here.
Yeah.
I grew up with 3 brothers.
Okay.
I almost said 4, but it was 3 brothers.
Yeah.
And my father was a minister, so I'm a PK.
So we have something in common.
Yeah,
Yes, we do.
that's what I think I remember you saying that.
Absolutely.
But just grew up in an humble family, always was taught to give.
Right.
And to be a servant to others. And that's kind of my purpose. I realized, when you're younger, you really don't know what your purpose is, but do know that being a servant leader is my purpose.
Well, that is awesome. One of my favorite quotes is services the rent that you pay for the space that you occupy here on this earth.
Absolutely.
And I try to live by that. And like you said, being a PK, growing up in an environment where you saw your parents sacrifice so much, first one in the church, last one to leave, and you really don't understand that calling and that purpose until you find your own.
Correct.
And then you see why they were doing it. And in the space that I occupy now, I'm able to give back. Right. And so to me, I've always been in and around those servant leaders,
sure,
those that were just as comfortable as leading by example, as well as the word as well. Not just speaking it, right, not just talking it, but being willing to walk it. And so I want to pause just really quickly. You said that you're a Bulldog alum. So you know where I gotta go with this. So
where you go?
I'm from Ohio, so OH. I gotta go with it. But you all did get us, And I tell my friends in entertainment, I have a band. We travel all over, and several of my musician friends are Bulldogs, and so we were texting each other a few years ago. Trying to bring in the new year, and man, it was horrible for me.
But you know what? My son is an Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
Has been all his life, and he's 30 now. So the house was divided. But
I believe it. I believe it. And I had told my fiance, I said, listen, I said, if Kirby Smart calls timeout and ices the kicker, and this man takes his helmet off, I said, it's over with. It's over with. This man walked all the way back to the 50-yard line. He was perspiring. The helmet was off. I said, come on.
It's over.
Man. I couldn't even watch. I couldn't watch. And when the kick went up and he said he hooked it, I mean, the man kicked it a mile in the opposite direction. I said, man, it is what it is. It just is what it is. And then I don't know why TCU even showed up.
I don't know.
That game was over in the first quarter. I just turned it off. I said, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So we had our chance.
We had the football gods in our favor.
Yeah. But I will say, as long as Alabama didn't get it, I mean, hasn't it been a blessing not to hear Roll Tide?
We're gonna get some backlash from this. But
for all of our Alabama viewers.
That's right. But it's all in love.
It's all in love.
I mean, my best friend is an Alabama fan. Her husband graduated from there, so you know it's all in love.
Well, you know what? It's a fun time of year. It really is, and there's some great things happening in and around the Columbus community. One of which is why you are here today.
Yes.
This is something that happens, as Mike led us off to begin the show, something that happens annually. I have attended. I'm familiar with what you're doing.
Gotcha.
But please talk about this. What got you started in this particular endeavor?
Wow. Actually, this is our 15th anniversary.
Wow.
So I've been with the coalition for 16 years. And of course, prior to that, I was involved in creating it and getting it to become what it is. But there was a need in our community. There weren't any breast cancer awareness walks during that time. And I had a loved one that was actually going through cancer treatment. It was my father-in-law. And at that time, I was looking and trying to find resources available to help. And so there weren't any. There were a few national organizations, but the need was greater than what they were able to service. And so just having a conversation with God, and He placed it on my heart to start Paint the Town Pink, which is a fundraiser for all cancers, but captivating during the month of October because there are so many women that are going through breast cancer. And so we have a big survivor parade every year. We have survivors from all walks of life. And this particular event, as I said, the Neighbors Helping Neighbors, it raises funds for the Neighbors Helping Neighbors Cancer Assistance. So if there's someone who is going through, I say, when life happens, and you don't have the income, you have to stop working, or your income is reduced as a result of having high copays, or what have you. And so we allow them to apply for an application or send an application in, and there's a committee made up of survivors that helps us make the decision. We pay for mortgage, lights, gas, utilities. just those basic daily living expenses when life happens.
That's a
And
blessing.
so, as I said, it was just it's a ministry.
Yeah, it's a
really.
calling.
It's a calling.
Wow.
And during this time, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's also serious.
Right.
Because there are people that are on the journey that just need a little guidance. And that's, we're there. We do so much more than paint the town pink.
Right.
But this is just a fun time for me to put on my pink bracelet and and just pink out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it definitely fits you.
Yeah.
It definitely, and you wear it well, and I can see that you're very passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's a very special time of the year for me. I'm a fall baby. My birthday is October the 29th. My oldest brother and I share the exact same birthday. We're 7 years apart.
Wow.
And unfortunately, about 6 years ago, I think at this point, roughly 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, my niece, who was 4 at the time, she passed from leukemia, his oldest daughter. And one of the things that I had to make sure that I conveyed to him, and my parents, God has blessed them with 5 children. And I conveyed to him, I said, I know we were raised to be strong, but it is okay to be vulnerable in this moment.
Absolutely.
It's okay to shed a tear.
Absolutely.
It is okay to feel the weight of it, because to me, you can't truly heal unless you truly become one with yourself and vulnerable in that place.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's when God can step in and truly touch you, heal you, and give you the vision that you're speaking of today. It's not just doing something. I think some people, and we've been in this line of work for a while, obviously you longer than me, but you can tell when people are doing something just to do it, because they want to mark a box of charity, or they want to feel as if their resume is complete.
Right.
But there's a difference in passion that you feel when you can empathize, not just sympathize. And when you are in that space because you've been called to be in that space, it's a lot different. And
you you saying that, I was a caregiver for my father, who had multiple myeloma, and I had to learn about that. And in 2021, he did succumb. But prior to that, he was 75 years old and went through a stem cell transplant.
Wow.
God was so amazing, and his new birthday was September the 3rd, and that's actually my brother's birthday. But he was given a stem cell, and from that point, for 5 years later, he was around, and God was just truly good. But being in that and empathizing with those caregivers, because I always wondered, well, why am I here? Well, I'm still working at the Cancer Coalition, but it's to be that voice for those who are voiceless and who can't, deal with it.
And I want to shift just slightly to the caregiver side. My fiance, as I mentioned earlier, she's a registered respiratory therapist at Piedmont.
Okay.
And sometimes she'll come home and she's naturally a bubbly personality, very upbeat, very positive. But you can tell when she had a long day. And it can be difficult. And I'm in a completely separate industry. And so I have a lot of medical professionals. My oldest brother, who I mentioned, first black captain of the fire department back home, have a registered nurse in my family, 2 doctors.
Right.
And they can have their own, you all can have your own conversation. There's terminology. I have no clue what she's talking about.
Sure.
She'll call me on the way home, and she'll talk from Piedmont to Midland, and it's boom, 15 minutes of stuff I don't understand. And all I'm saying is, oh, wow, really? Right. Man, babe, that's crazy. I can't believe they did that. But on a more serious angle, though, what advice can you give to those caregivers? How do you approach them? Because they feel it too.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you go about navigating what they experience, being one of yourself?
It was difficult. Of course, obviously, running an organization as a CEO, having aging parents, and then having a parent who was sick with cancer. And so it takes a lot of, for those who are faith, who are people of faith, takes a lot of prayer, a lot of perseverance, and also just a lot of understanding, because they are going through, you're going through, and you have to kind of meet them where they are.
Right.
a lot of times I would say, Dad, you got to eat something. You got to eat something. Yeah. Well, of course, he didn't have an appetite to eat, but it's just trying to be encouraging. Yeah. And when you're tired and when you're down, you need somebody else to encourage you. So have that person. And I did, have those people in my life, that would say, Cheryl, you're doing a great job, just, hang in there, who have already been through. Right. And so that's kind of why, now that's part of my purpose, part of my mission is to share with other caregivers that are just in the middle of it, that it's okay not to be okay. Right. And so, when my dad passed, 2021 was, I would probably say, the worst year of my life with losses. My cousin that I traveled with all the time suddenly, passed away. You were speaking about your 4-year-old. I had a 3-year-old god grandbaby who succumbed to cancer. She fought that thing, and you know how babies are.
Oh, they do. They'll fight.
Oh my God, my little Madison. She fought. I had another cousin who passed away from pancreatic cancer, and I was his caregiver. So I was taking care of him and my dad at the same time because he didn't have any sisters, but he had his sister-in-law. And then December of 21, Dad passed. And so that 21 and then going into 22, and of course it was still quote unquote COVID. So you've got all of these other things going on, but I just had to resolve with myself that it was okay for me not to be okay and to share. Yeah. To talk, because sometimes when we don't share with people, they don't really know what's going on. Right. But I have been transparent, and everyone knows I was a daddy's girl. Oh
you
my
sound like my dad.
I love my mama, but she got those 3 boys. You know what I'm saying? But my mom and I are now best friends. I mean, she and I, we go toe to toe, but we're when you see me, you see her. Yeah. But being a daddy's girl, my whole life just changed, and my protector was gone. It was a kind of a rough 2022, and then in 23, my little nephew passed away. Was 16, was rising senior at Columbus High School. So those 2 years have been, and then I had an aunt that passed from breast cancer. So that's why I am so passionate. She fought it for 20 plus years. So passionate about cancer and breast cancer, and just telling women that it's important to get your screenings, your mammograms. Right. We're that entity that if you can't afford it, if you don't have insurance, we pay for it. We get grants, we get funding from that. So no woman in our 13 counties should say that I can't afford to. And we cover as far north as Troup and Meriwether County, and as far south as Sly, Talbot, Taylor, over to the east, west, Harris County, Muskogee, Chattahoochee. And so there are 13 counties, and probably a lot of the counties that you all serve that in the congressman's office that we serve as well. And in the rural counties, the need is great. Right. It is truly great. And so we just try to be the mouthpiece and the voice for those.
Wow. So let me ask you this. How well has the response been? I know you mentioned 13 counties, and you all do a lot of outreach. I know the town pink is the biggie. But, right. How has the community responded, especially in lower income areas?
You're correct. I mean, even though the services we provide are free, it's difficult, and I don't know why people don't come until they need you. Wow. When it's prevention, everybody's busy, they don't have time, but then when they need you, they want you there. But the response, and like I said, it kind of waxes and wanes. We've been in it for 16, I've been in it for 16 years. And so out there in the rural counties, different people come and go. And so you have different connections, and some are more passionate than others, but we're here when people need us.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So let me make sure that those that are watching and tuned in know exactly how to follow you all. Is there any social media platforms?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've got West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition on Facebook.
Okay.
We have Paint the Town Pink on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We
We got them covered
We
then.
got them covered.
Yeah.
But the actual walk run is the third Friday. It's always the third Friday in October
Okay.
at 6 p.m.
Okay.
And it is at Woodruff Park.
Okay.
The race is $35 for the run, and
Okay.
then $25 for people that want to walk, because it's a fun kind of day. People dress up, wear their tutus,
Right.
bling out, and it's a 5K glow walk run. So they can go on runsignup.com to get registered for that.
Now, if somebody wanted to just say, write a check
Oh, absolutely.
and just say, put it to wherever you all see fit, how do they do that?
They can go online to our website at wcgcc.org, click the donate button. Of course, there's a fee, but we take checks. They come in the mail all the time at 3100 Gentian Boulevard, Suite 007D,
Okay.
Columbus, Georgia, 31907.
Okay.
And they can give us a call at 706-660-0317.
That is awesome. So Paint the Town Pink, third Friday of
October
October
the 18th.
October the 18th, to be specific. And where do they meet at? Where does the
Everything is happening at Woodruff Park. They'll
Okay,
hear
Woodruff
all
Park.
the music.
Gotcha.
We've got a DJ.
Okay.
We've got it's just always
Okay.
a fun
Yeah.
time. And really, a lot of people use it as a reunion because we haven't
Yeah.
seen each other
Oh,
in a
that is
year.
awesome.
And
That's
so they'll
awesome.
come and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for hanging out with Mike and I like to call him Uncle Mike.
Uncle
And,
Mike.
just coming and giving
My
us some great
friend.
information, not only us, but our viewing audience,
Sure.
CCG TV. This is the Purpose Podcast. I'm going to turn it back over to my uncle and friend, the mentor. Y'all welcome him back. Mr. Michael King, y'all.
All right.
It's such a blessing. You have been such a blessing to so many people. And this is such a serious matter when we talk about cancer, because I've had several people in my family that have been touched by cancer. Some's not here, some still here. And, just to be able to come together and say we acknowledge
Yes.
this and we celebrate life, and we are going to continue to fight this.
That's right.
And the common denominator is you, which bring us to our word of the day. And for me is, the word of the day is everybody can shine. Everybody has a light, and everybody can shine. You might not be the biggest light, you might not be the smallest light, but whatever light that you have illuminates.
Yeah.
And what happens is it reflects on other people. So what we want to do is we want to continue to shine. We want this podcast program to be a blessing for somebody, because what we're trying to do is just be a purpose. That's what we call it, the purpose.
Amen to that.
With that being
love
said, Cheryl, you're invited here every year, and I want to steal you
Yeah.
for some more things.
Absolutely.
I got a sack back there. I'm gonna put on your head. Might have to kidnap you. So.
I'm where, as you said, we've been friends for many, many years, and it's always a blessing to be here, truly.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you sign us on off, bro.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, this is another episode of the Purpose Podcast, which is under the umbrella of CCG TV. And I like to say under the direction of the one and only, the man, the myth, the living legend, Mr. Michael King. Cheryl, thank you again.
Thank
we
you all
appreciate you for
so
being
much. I appreciate it.
You heard that voice?
He has it.
My music, man.
Hello, I'm Isaiah Hughley, City Manager of Columbus, Georgia, and former Board Chair of the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition. I will be supporting the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition in their annual fundraising efforts for their 15th anniversary of Paint the Town Pink. The theme this year is Knock Cancer Out the Park. So get ready for the Pink Glow Fun Walk Run on Friday, October 18th, 2024 at Woodruff Park. To get registered, go online to www.runsignup.com. That is www.runsignup.com, and look for the Paint the Town Pink Columbus. Please join me as we knock cancer out the park in Columbus, Georgia and the Columbus, Georgia region.